Welcome back to the final approach. I think we're on episode 11 now, and we have in orbit of the moon, we have Valentina Kerman. She's just going to go on an EVA actually, because she's just thought there's a bit of crater underneath her and she needs to have a look at it. So let's have a look. There we go. This is the far side crater. Oh, very nice. So we're going to store that. We've done a Lowlands one before in between episodes, but I think we need to get her home and then get on with the rest of our missions. So let's have a look. How are we going to get you back? Let's see. What about a burn here? Will that get us back? Will that get us back to Kerbin? That may get us back to Kerbin, but not like that. There we go. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Right, so let's just pull that into there. That's okay. Right, so we're going to go for our burn on this. So Val is really happy. She's obviously enjoyed herself when she was on the moon. We're going to put the SAS on there because, you know, for some reason, I think it turns itself off when you go in EVA. Anyway, we're going to warp forward in time. You can see Kerbin there. That's where she's going, although we're going to thrust sideways. It seems very odd, doesn't it? It always seems very odd, the having to go sort of at 90 degrees to where you want to go and things like that when you're in space orbiting. So there we go. We're just going to speed up a bit until we get to our time for firing those engines and getting off and going and seeing and being and doing. Right, I think we're going to start a little early because I like to start a little early. No, we're going to start on time, in fact. There we go. Right. I'm going to keep an eye on this, make sure we can watch that. And let's have a look. We're going to go prograde. And just... Right, what are we at? Kill the maneuver node, and let's do this a little bit more manual. Take it down to, I think... What have we been going in? Let's go in at 35, 32. 32 is nice for a little warpy warp. Right, and then we're just going to time warp-see along. Now, I could use the alarm clock for this, couldn't I? I could set that up. I'm not going to. I'm not going to set the alarm clock up for this. So there we go. We're going to just leave the moon's sphere of influence. So we have a nice sort of payload on the craft of beautiful science, which is really important for us. We need to get this back. So what we're going to do is I'm going to time warp to here. There we go. 5 hours away. Why is it not going any faster? Let's see if we can just stop that. Let's try again. I want to warp to there. Make me go faster. That's better. So it's obviously some sort of glitch. I did have a little time warpy glitch in the last episode, and if anybody has any idea as to why that happened, that would be really good to know. We've had a number of suggestions of what to do with the series so far. I'm still taking them, and it's been really nice to actually have a lot of you talk to me about how you got into KSP, particularly as this is the sort of 10-year anniversary, sort of, couple of weeks, month, whatever. We've lost Kerbin. Where's Kerbin gone? Well, there's the moon. There we are. Oh, we're coming underneath. Ooh, now. I wonder if we could get a port. No, don't try and get clever, sea monsters. Don't try and get clever. We could land near the desert airstrip, but I don't think that's going to happen. Right, we're going to point ourselves retrograde just in preparation. Now we're going to check our electricity. Oh, we got loads of it. Loads of it. Oh, because we've got solar panels. I don't need to worry about it anymore, do I? So we've got 900 meters per second. I would love it if this craft would actually land the whole thing, but I'm pretty sure this will burn off on re-entry. So we'll just fire on through. I'm pretty sure we'll see a lot of explosions and so forth. I'm not sure whether I want to even try that. We'll have a look. Look again, the Kerbin looked good. Compared to when I first started playing this, where Kerbin was, it wasn't the same. It wasn't as detailed. It wasn't as living. I remember they did I think it must have been a terrain pass in like 0.25 or something like that, and you got all of the mountains and stuff looking really sort of beautiful. And before that, it was quite sort of plainy, samey. There we go. So we're coming in, and we could just let's just fire all the engine. Just fire all the engine, because we can fire all the engine. There we go. And we can even time warp that a little bit, make it go a bit faster. Firing all of the engine. Getting a bit of heat up there. Going a bit more. And then what we could do, because I can, is we're going to detach, I think, at the last second. Once we kill all of that. There we go. There we go. So that's going to fly off now. It'll probably come back and haunt me because it'll probably hit me. Turn off that. There we go. We're now on a just falling through the atmosphere approach. We should probably arm the old parachutes there. Get that going. So that's going to just burn up as we come in, and we can speed up a bit now, can't we? So we're going to come down, what, in the desert again, near the desert airfield. Oh, what's that? Nothing new there? A little bit of darkness, bit of water or something on the edge of the desert. That's quite nice, isn't it? Never really used the desert airfield, or desert airfield. I don't know, is it supposed to be desert and it's just a nice play on words for Kerbals, or is it actually the desert airfield and there's something in it that I've never seen? Is it like a giant cake or something? Now that's an issue. Could we launch a giant cake from the desert airfield? I don't know. Let's get the tech tree done first, I think. So anyway, Val is coming down. She's always so happy, aren't you? I suppose you're alive, so that's probably why I've not really seen much of you being happy in the past, because normally you're dead after mission 1. Oh, poor Jeb. Oh well, Val's alive. Right, Val, should we do something crazy like an EVA? I don't think so. I don't think that's a good idea, do you? No. Right, let's see, how high up are we? Oh, we got loads of ways, so that's opened. That would be the slight landing of our booster stage. That's nice. So I think it's good that we decoupled that. I could have tried for a repulsive landing with a little bit of fuel in the bottom, but you know what, it's not worth the risk, is it? Although we are risking Val, supposedly. We're trying to risk Val for a biscuit, as it were. Coming down, this takes a while to go down, doesn't it? I should really speed you up this bit and not talk over it. So anyway, yeah, so thank you for everybody that said so far about how they got into KSP. We got some interesting ones, like just people that have come in through other games, like Elite. Elite is a game that was a childhood game of mine that I never really played. I had a friend who had a BBC computer, and I never got to play it, and he always used to rave about it, even though he'd let you watch him play it, which I think is an interesting, I guess that's the generation I grew up in, where those computers were a rarity, and just watching someone play on a computer was seen as, like, you know, fun, I suppose. Or games where you had to take turns. I remember a Formula 1 game where you had to take turns, and there was 3 of us, and you used to only race a third of the race, but you were different players. It was very odd, it was very strange. Anyway, we're coming down. Landed on a bit of a slope there, but we're okay now. Do we need to do an EV? Oh, hello, we're going through the floor there. That's one of the lovely things about KSP that we always remember. Now, get back in, board that. Anything, nothing. Okay, let's recover. So, we have been to the Mun, we have taken a sample of the soil, we have not got Mun rocks. Now we need to do that, and we've actually got a few years to do that in game, which is fine, so I'm not going to rush it right now. We also had another mission that I took in between, which was to return something from the Mun. So anyway, so let's have a look. We've got 400 odd science, we've got some monies, and Val's done. So we've returned home from orbit of the Mun, landed on the surface of the Mun, suborbital flight to above the Mun, planted a flag on the Mun, returned home from the surface. We got that twice, that's nice. Science data from space around the Mun, wonderful. Got a bit more science, explore the Mun. Any crash we can walk away from. Well, it wasn't just a crash we could walk away from, it was fine. Explore the Mun, plant a flag on the Mun. We got all the things. Explore the Mun, with lots of exploring of the Mun. I suppose those are part contracts that are complete. So let's have a look. I think it is time for us to get some more parts. So I'm actually going to have a look at the parts and come back to that. And we have some missions I want to look at. So we have the Moonstone one we're going to leave. We've got orbital station around Kerbal, which I've accepted because we've got 6 years to do that, and I'm not too worried about getting it up. It does require 2,000 units of fuel, but if we're going to put like a refueling station up there or something, then it's, you know, not a big issue. The big issue is the new station that is an antenna and docking port and generate power. The station must be assembled when launched, which is a concern. Does it require anything? Facilities for 5 Kerbals, 2,000 units of fuel, stability. So we'll just send something up when we got a bigger rocket. We're not in a hurry for that. We do have this recover Theoli Kerman, and we're going to do that next, I think. So let me get some science and let me get back to you. Right, here we are on the launch pad with a Mango 1C. I'm just going to fire this off now, get this going. So this is our Mango craft again, and all I've done is stick a probe core down here in this little cargo bay so that we can actually use this to go and collect our stranded Kerbal, shall we say. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to move this thing across into orbit and rescue a Kerbal. Hopefully they will be the replacement for Jeb, although we have Titop. Titop, is Titop the name of the character that's taking over from Jeb? I can't remember. Of course, first of all, we've got to get this into orbit, and we've got those really useful solid boosters, but we only seem to be using for this craft actually. And hopefully that'll take us up. We do get a bit of a wobble on this, which is a bit strange. Something is off center almost. And I wonder whether it is. I wonder whether it's to do with the fact it's got a drogue parachute on the back there that actually pulls it off out of alignment. I hadn't thought about that. So maybe the craft is just not able to counter that all the time, which is quite interesting actually if that's the case. So we're going to go up, and our orbit is looking not too bad actually. We're just fighting a bit with it. There we go. Now obviously this is going to be a very manual flight, although I've got the Pro book which gives me stability assist. It does not give me prograde and retrograde, which I've got used to now that we've had pilots that are trained, so that's an annoyance. What it does mean is this works, we can actually start sending up scientists and engineers on their own if we need to, but we also do have another capsule that has 2 seats, so we may put them in with a pilot at times as well. We'll see. We've got things to do, people to see. We've got to go to Minmus at some point, I think. Have a look at the Sobe moon and see what's going on there and see what tasks. But we don't have any missions for it yet, which is interesting. We don't have missions for anything, so I need to figure out what's going on with that. How do we get missions for Minmus? How do we get missions for Duna and places like that? Because I was expecting them to appear once we got the Mun missions out of the way. So we'll see. So maybe I need communications improvements or something. Maybe that triggers it. So we're up to about, what, 85 there. We'll just stop the engine. And then we're going to have a look and see, right, what are we targeting? Now, I could have gone for a direct rendezvous with this thing. I have decided not to. So he's at 82 and 85. Okay, so I need to go higher then, actually. I need to go a bit higher. We want to go quite considerably higher, in fact, because I want to basically try and meet up with him. So off we go. Keep firing those engines. Just keep it going. About there's fine. And we want to come up to about this high, about 100. I think is probably a good idea. 100 would be nice. There we go. 96, 97. Oh, and we're out of the fuels. We can actually do it on this screen now, can't we? And there we go. That's close enough for government work, shall we say? I can't remember which YouTuber used to say that. Somebody did used to say good enough for government work. I think it was an American, and I'd have to look it up. Somebody was involved with Kerbal at some point. I can't remember who it was. If you remember, please tell me. If you've been on the YouTubes of the Kerbals for a while, you might remember. Right, let's just see. Are we going? There we go. That's about okay for me. 98 and 100. Wonderful. And that's going to happen in when? When is that going to happen? That is going to happen in a minute and a half. Okay, so we can come back out of this. Maneuver node. Don't want that. Oh no, I want to do that. I want to get out of that. There we go. Ooh, it's all the buttons. All the buttons. They've all got very confusing over the years. Right. What we need to do is open up this bay. There we go. Get a bit of sunlight upon us. So where are we? Where is this? Where is the stun? The stun. Oh, there's the Mun. There is the stun, as we shall now call it, or Kerbin. Right. We're going to fast forward. Can we fast forward? Are we not able to fast forward? Oh, because I'm too close to it already. Okay. So when you're too close, you can't hit the fast forward button. That's interesting, but they keep it there just so you know that you actually can't use it. There we go. Right, it says this burn is going to be 39 seconds, and we're going to hit the node soon. So we're going to just fast forward a little bit, get within time range, and then we're just going to hit it. There we go. And there's going to be fine. Now, if you've got prograde, retrograde, what you can actually do is you can wait until you're at 0 time, hit the prograde, then switch it back to stability assist, and it'll hold you on the nice heading. I do not have that, so I'm just going to have to, hope I've got this reasonably right. So off we go, going up. We're about to get into something like an orbit at some point. Would be nice. That'd be really good if we could do that anytime soon. Moving up, and come on, a bit more. We're starting again there. I just 60, 70, 80, and there we go, kill it. Right, it's not the most perfect of orbit. In fact, it's terrible. It's another terrible orbit. I just can't seem to do it very well. Right, Oh, that's interesting. We're right next to Mango B. Now, the problem is Mango B already has somebody on it, namely one of our scientists. So can't use that. But let's have a look. Where's our ascending node? Ooh, almost a degree out. That's actually quite a lot. If this was Earth, that would be an awful lot of delta V would be having to use up to do that. So if we just pop this back, and we have now got intersect there, and let's do a next one round. There you go. Right, that's a nice close one. That's a nice close one. So let's have a look. How close is that? 11. That's quite far away. So we're going to start playing around with our maneuvers a little bit. And so we want to get, let's have a look. Maneuver. We've got that 11 there. So what happens if I do that? That makes it bigger, smaller, 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 smaller. All the way down. Come on, let's keep going. Get it nice and low until it starts going up again. There we go. Then we're going to do a bit of this. Nope, that's not doing anything, so maybe a bit of this. Nope. Give us a bit more power for that. Alright. 6. We're trying to get it down to a reasonable number, and I'm guessing it's the inclination that's actually going to be the problem causer for this. So we're going to have to put a bit of effort into inclination change, which is what we're doing. And we're down to... So 700 was a nice number for us there. Can we do a bit less? Yes, we can. We get down to what? 3 would be nice. 200. Ooh, yeah. Go on. There we go. 150 meters. That's okay. All right. So we're going to position ourselves. Now, this is the interesting thing I have noticed. Does it wander when we time warp? I've noticed a couple of times that we get a bit of wander in the time warp. So we'll move off this node. So we'll see if that happens this time. Yeah, no. Yes, there we go. The node wanders, which is quite interesting. So there's something going on. There's something going on that's throwing us off, even though we don't have persistent rotation or anything. And there's something going that's just throwing out our positioning just a smidgen. There we go. I might make this UI a little bigger because it is a bit small on this screen. Now please tell me, you know, this I think is okay size, but this is a little small for you lot to see. So maybe I need to make that a little bigger for you all. Right, we're just going to get close up to this burn because it's only a 2-second burn, which is interesting. We're gonna probably start about now, and then we're going to engage our RCS, and then we're going to do a bit of refining with RCS, I think. There we go. We can actually do a little bit of movement around there, and then RCS it a bit closer. It's a bit cheaty. It's not cheaty. It's actually using RCS in probably the wrong way. Most people use it for orientation or for docking. We're using it to actually do the rendezvous a little bit better, which is a little thing. There we go. So a little bit of RCS there saves us a lot of time in the future. And then we're going to come out and we're going to find where we are going to be nearby, which is there. And we're going to time up to about there. There we go. And then we're going to jump to target, which we're already on because we've got close enough to the target. Now, where is the target? There's the target right in front of us. And I do not have the ability to orientate myself to prograde retrograde on the target. So I'm going to have to do this manually, knock off the RCS now. So we want to be in the retrograde position. We want to burn retrograde to our target, primarily because we're trying to zero out speed difference. So there we go. There, go on it. There we go. Now this is going to meander a bit. So we've got, let's see, that's going to be about a 2-second max power burn. So I can wait a little bit, can't I? What I could do is actually do a little bit of RCSing to get us a little bit closer. But I don't need to worry about that. So we've got about 20 seconds. It's closing in. And this is where you start to go, okay, I wish I actually had MechJeb or something like that to actually do this burn for me, because if I mistime it, it's going to go flying past. So we're going to start burn a bit and let it go a bit more. And again, of course, if you're in a real spacecraft at this point, you'd actually probably be using your RCS to do this burn a little bit. So yeah, right. Let us. Bit of RCS there. Just slow that down. and then we're going to reorientate ourselves a bit like there, and then we're going to do a bit more RCS. Could actually do a little bit of engine burn if I was being clever. Just do a little bit of engine burn, bring us in. There we go. And then I'm going to have to do this all manual, which is just annoying. So let's have a look. Where is our... That's not the target. That's the back of the target. So we're going to target the craft. There we go. That's what we're doing. And we're going to thrust a little bit with our RCS. I want to try and get this down as low as possible. And I want to do a bit of this. And a bit of that. There we go. So we're now coming in within range of this. Now we're not docking. I do have a docking port on this, but that's primarily because I just didn't take it off. We can accelerate a bit now. Yeah, so I should have really taken the docking port off, if I'm honest with myself, and I should have put a parachute on, give myself better aerodynamics. But all we literally did was stick a probe core on this. It's just got a probe core added, which is good that it's got a reasonable signal, because I was concerned that its signal was going to be a nightmare. So now we're going to slow down. Just a little bit. There we go. There we go. Nice and close. Now I should be able to switch to that now, but before I do, I'm going to just rotate my craft like so. Right, and we're going to hold it where it is. And now can I switch? Yes, we can. So now the important question: do you have any fuel in your jetpack? We're going to have to let go, and we're going to have to hit that jetpack right. So, oh, we have fuel. Okay, so we just go down a bit, and then we're going to go this way and that way a bit, and then we're going to go forward. That's it. And down a bit more. That way. Oh. Back and up and forward. Oh, I'm terrible with the Kerbals. With the Kerbals of the flying and the flying of the Kerbals, terrible. Your controls are sort of backwards, aren't they? I want to go down. Make me go down. So, yeah, my controls are backwards for some reason. Not entirely sure why. Interesting. So, I'm just going to take my time. Just take my time and get this thing in. We're coming in? Yeah. I'm going to end up actually going back into the pod there if I'm not careful. Here we go. Just slowly bring us in. Bring us in slowly. Because we can. And then, what's grab? Is grab F? Which doesn't really make sense to me. It should be G for grab, but... right, board. There we go. Now, to bring us home. Let's see. Can we land anywhere near the space center? Oh, actually, we are going to. If we do that now, we'll just... yeah, good stuff. So, orbital. Let's rotate the whole craft round. Retrograde. Let's fire the engines. Nice and good. There we go. A bit more. There we go. Right. And then we're going to just fly on down to the Space Center. And I think this is hopefully going to be another successful mission. And we're going to get Theodore Kerman, who is a scientist, not a pilot. Oh. You could have been... He looks very happy, to be fair. I mean, suppose he would be, because he's been in space for some apparent reason. I'm not entirely sure who left him there, or how he got there. And as a scientist, he should know he needs to come back down. He looks happy, though. He looks happy. I bet he's rubbish. I bet he's absolutely rubbish. But he's got no intelligence and he's got no courage. Although, he's smiling like that. You'd expect him to have courage. So, yeah, we'll see. Do we want to try repulsive landing? No, we don't. We don't want to risk it because this guy is not for risking. Right. Let's head back down into the Atomos, which we are now doing. So this is going to self-right itself. We do have electric to do a reaction wheel sort of orientation change, but let's see. Whoop, there we go. We're obviously coming out of orbit now. It's done the spinny thing. We're gonna come down in probably the ocean to the west of the KSC. I'm guessing just down here between the desert and the KSC. We're rocking around quite a bit there. What we could do is we could just do that. Oh, we don't have an SAS module anymore because we got rid of it. Okay. One of the flaws of this plan: once you start re-entry, you ain't doing anything else with it. And of course, we've got our RCS thrusters on there as well, just to really just add weight to the wrong end of the craft. So if this thing flips, I have no way of doing anything with it, but it should be okay because it's got that heat shield. And what we can do is, as it starts to interface, just take it out of physical time warp, because sometimes it helps it stabilize itself a little bit if you're not on max attack, shall we say. So there we go. So we're coming through, and you can see the atmosphere is starting to stop that wobble. It's starting to help it stabilize. Nice heavy bottom, light top. Obviously, you got two forces interacting here. You've got center of mass versus center of sort of drag and whatnot. So the mass is going to win out. Oh, we're actually going to be quite close to the KSC, aren't we? That's quite nice. Might even overshoot it. I thought we were going to land in the ocean over there, but obviously we've come in pretty hot, and we're going to overshoot the KSC. So there's me predicting our landing gone completely wrong. Probably should have slowed down a bit more. There you go. That's where your new home's going to be. You're going to be working for us now because you owe us pretty much everything. We could have left you in orbit. You would have died. Well, you wouldn't. I don't know what you'd have eaten in that pod. Maybe Kerbals eat themselves if they're a plant-type based fungal plant organism. I mean, that's a good point, actually. If they're in the sunlight, they just survive forever. Although I suppose they need water. It's a closed system. They'd be fine. Right, we're coming down. Parachutes have deployed. So now we're just nice and safe, and we're just going to flop through the atmosphere in the dark, because that's the way we like it. Obviously, the dark is the best way to do it. Still see the KSC on the horizon, the mountains, K2 and all sorts. I believe it's called K2. I believe Scott Manley called it K2 at some point, and that's now become its name. And so off we go down into the blue. And with that, I think we're going to end the episode. So we've got Theoli, I'm never going to say your name right, Theoli Kerman. We've got our moon mission back. I'm going to have a look at the science before our next mission. We're going to have a look at what we can do, and I think we're going to have to go to Minmus. It's just that there isn't a mission to go to Minmus. So should I be allowing myself to do things that aren't mission based? I don't know. You tell me. Should we be only going for missions and building up the funds? I need to improve the science facilities we've got, actually. Or should we do some just exploration for the sake of it? Maybe I need to leave Kerbin's sphere of influence at some point, and that'll trigger the other missions. We'll see. So if nothing else, we'll maybe send something into interplanetary space, or we'll send a Kerbal maybe next time into interplanetary space and bring them back. I wonder which Kerbal that could be. I think first jaunt out of the Kerbin sphere of influence. I think we know who she's going to be, don't we? Anyway, so as we come down for our splashdown in the lukewarm waters of Kerbin, until next time, have a great one.